Welcome to the Balance Hormone Solution podcast. If you're a woman, 35 plus, feeling exhausted, struggling to lose weight, and wondering where your libido went, this is for you. I am Tracy Aaron, a functional medicine practitioner who helps women balance their hormones naturally without prescriptions, guesswork, or trendy nonsense. Because here's the truth. Your symptoms aren't random. They're signals. And if you know how to listen, you can fix the root cause and start feeling like yourself again. If you're ready for real solutions, let's get to it. Hey, beautiful. Welcome back to the Balanced Hormone Solution podcast, where we ditch the guesswork, decode the symptoms, and talk real healing for real women. Today's episode is called The Future You, Rewiring the Beliefs That Burnt You Out. Because listen, I know you've been doing all the things, supplements, food swaps, workouts, but you're still stuck in survival mode, exhausted, inflamed, anxious, or doubting yourself constantly. There is something deeper going on. And no, it's not just hormones. It's your thoughts. It's the story your nervous system has been living out on autopilot. So let's talk about the thought model, a simple but powerful framework that literally changed my life. And now I use it with every client that I work with. So most women come to me saying, I'm doing everything right. Why do I feel so wrong? And here's the truth. You can't green juice or lab test your way out of a thought loop that's keeping you burnt out. Burnout isn't just physical, it's neurological. It's what happens when your brain has been rehearsing survival for decades. Cue the thought model by a brilliant woman, Brooke Costello. I'm going to teach you this today. It's simple, but don't confuse simple with shallow. And here's how it works. So the thought model has an acronym. It's CTFAR, and these are what those letters stand for. C would be circumstances. Okay, this is where we start at the top of the thought model. These are the things that you can't control. And then you have T for thoughts, which are your interpretation of those circumstances. And then you have F for feelings, which are created by your thoughts. And then you have A for actions, which are driven by how you feel. And lastly, you have R for results. And that's what you create in your life. So circumstances, which are completely neutral, lead to thoughts, which create feelings, which drive actions and create results. Does that make sense? So everything you're experiencing, it didn't just start with your symptoms. It started with a thought. So let's break this down with an example from real life. Okay, let's take a neutral circumstance like you wake up feeling tired again. Completely neutral. We're not attaching any meaning to that. It's not positive, it's not negative. You just simply woke up feeling tired again. And the thought might be, something's wrong with me. I'm broken, which could give you a feeling of being defeated or hopeless or frustrated, which leads you to take the action that you cancel your workout, you skip breakfast, you doom scroll, which creates the result that you feel even worse. And the belief that you're broken gets reinforced. But what if we rewrote that thought, right? The circumstance, we're always starting at the top of this thought model with the circumstance. That didn't change. You still woke up feeling tired again. But let's give it a new thought. That new thought could be, my body's communicating and I'm learning how to listen. Feel that inside of you. What kind of feeling does that create? Maybe one of curiosity, empowerment, compassion for yourself, which might drive the action that you eat a nourishing breakfast. You go for a gentle walk. You journal. And that's going to create the result that you feel more grounded and you feel more like you again. You started with the same circumstance and a different thought. which will in turn end up giving you a completely different life. So listen, your mindset isn't some motivational meme. It's psychological. Every thought you think creates a chemical reaction in your body. Chronic stress thoughts, cortisol spikes, fear-based beliefs, inflammation rises, self-trust and safety, nervous system regulation, hormone healing. You see where I'm going with this? And this is why we say your mindset isn't fluff, it's medicine. So if you want a different result than the one that you're getting in your life currently, you need a different belief. So here's how we shift out of survival mode thinking and into hormone healing thoughts. All right, we're going to go with 3 steps here. Number 1 is awareness. Start by noticing your go-to thoughts, especially when you're triggered, when you're tired, you feel like you're spiraling. Write those down. Become acquainted with what is familiar talk inside your brain. Number 2 would be then to question it. Ask yourself, is this true? Would I say this to my best friend? What's another way I could look at this? Get curious. No judgment zone here. When you're evaluating yourself, just approach yourself with curiosity. You want to learn something new about you without attaching the judgment that you have done times and times past, which keeps us stuck. So number 3, we'll choose again. We can pick a new thought that feels believable, not fake positive. This isn't positive affirmation work. It's just a little bit more empowering. So instead of saying something like, I'm failing, we can say, I'm figuring it out. There's hope in that second one, right? Instead of saying, nothing's working, we can say, I'm learning what doesn't work, and that is progress. Or instead of, I'll never feel better, we can try, my body wants to heal, and I'm doing what I can to support that now. So if your brain feels like a mean girl sometimes because you started listening to yourself and those go-to thoughts actually are quite judgmental, you're not alone, but you're also not stuck. You weren't born doubting yourself. You learned to, which means that you can unlearn to. Your thoughts are not facts. This is one of the most important truths in our lives that we can really wrap our brains around. They are not facts. They are just rehearsed. And what's rehearsed can be rewired. So this is where real healing starts, not just with labs or supplements, but with the story that you tell yourself. And if that story has been full of guilt or shame or self-blame, it's time for a rewrite. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. You're not broken. You're just living out beliefs that never belonged to you. Your body's not fighting you. It's following the instructions your brain has been giving it. And you can change the script starting now. Because when you shift your thoughts, you shift your nervous system, you shift your hormones, you shift your entire life. And that future you, she's not just a fantasy. She's waiting for you to come home. So if this episode and this topic in particular speaks to you, share it with a sister who needs it. Leave a review, subscribe. If you want to go deeper, join me inside the Balanced Hormone Solution. This is where I teach you exactly how to rewrite the script and live the life your body's been asking for. All right, friends, until next time, balance your hormones, elevate your life. You weren't meant to suffer through womanhood. I'll see you next week. That's it for today's episode of the Balanced Hormone Solution podcast. If this resonated, don't just listen, do something about it. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you know another woman who's tired of feeling like a stranger in her own body, send her this way. For more support, check out the show notes. I've got resources to help you get started. Just remember, your body isn't broken. You just need the right tools. See you next time.